Bo Nix is, I think, during his draft process, it was a lot of like, all right, this is just a point guard player. It's not really about him. He's not a major difference maker. He's going to kind of do enough for you if you surround him with a good enough offensive line, a good enough run game, and a good enough receivers. Like, he can make it happen for you at the NFL level. Well, the offensive line's playing great in front of Bo Nix. This is one of the best offensive lines right now in the NFL. They're playing extremely well. But the run game, it's not like the run game's that consistent. They got 3 running backs in Estime and McLaughlin and Javonte Williams, who they will hand the ball off to, but it could kind of be a different lead back every single week. So it's not there's a lot of consistency in the run game. And then when it comes to receivers, I mean, it's Courtland Sutton, and then kind of like pick whoever it's going to be every single week. I mean, Devon Vele has been able to step up and play really well, but it's not like this receiver group is phenomenal. So Knicks and how this team is playing right now is a major part of the pie. The offensive line is too, but to me, the rise in Rookie of the Year award odds it is warranted to me. Like, Nix is playing that well. He is playing above expectation. He is pushing the ball deeper down the field than I think a lot of people thought that he was going to, myself included, during his rookie season. You know, he's got a ton of touchdowns and barely interceptions, a lot of big-time throws. Well, not a ton of big-time throws, but a good amount of big-time throws and very low turnover-worthy plays over the last 6 weeks that he has been playing. So he's playing his best ball as of late, and if he continues to play at this level throughout the season, we are really going to have a coin flip, I think, of Offensive Rookie of the Year, even if Jaden continues to play the way that he has played. I think that Nix is playing to that level. Do you agree?
I do actually agree. I think especially over the last 3 weeks, you've seen that part of his game really come alive. It's really remarkable what he's done in terms of turnover-worthy plays and just in terms of putting the ball in harm's way. I mean, that week 1 game against Seattle, next week against Pittsburgh, he just looked totally overmatched. He looked in over his head. His first 3 weeks in the league, he had 5 turnover-worthy plays. And you were like, yeah, he just doesn't seem ready. The verbiage of the offense, he struggles in that week 4 game, even if he didn't have any turnover-worthy plays against the Jets defense, which obviously has not been up to their former standards the past couple of years. And it just felt like it was going to be a rough ride type of rookie season. The verbiage of that offense is really hard for a rookie to master. They were getting out of the huddle super late. They were getting a lot of scrimmage late. He didn't have time to change protections. He seemed totally overwhelmed. Seeing the field was just a totally hit or miss proposition for him. And it really hasn't been until, I'd say, the last 5 weeks or so that he started to look like really, really good in terms of positive performances. But he's just limited so many of the big negative plays. I mean, his pressure to sack rate is 14% for rookies, not taking a ton of sacks. His escapability and mobility has been enough to at least avoid disaster type scenarios. He has 2 turnover worthy plays since week 3. I mean, that is just remarkable. He's avoided so much of the negative stuff that it's allowed him to be just in more positions to continue to keep the ball moving. They stay on schedule as an offense. And, other than the Atlanta game, I don't think he's been so wow statistically in terms of raw statistics. But you go on and watch the tape and you see what they're trusting him to do. I mean, look at the game against the Raiders, and I know their defense is terrible, but they're running 4 verts all the time. They're asking him to throw the ball down the field. He's ripping it into zone windows, and yeah, they're not technically big time throws or high degree of difficulty throws from a contested, small window with coverage closing type of situation. But he knows where the voids are going to be. So when the back foot hits, the ball is coming out. And I think that the command of the offense is one of the most impressive things so far, and the ability to avoid really negative plays. So at the very least, he looks like somebody that can point and shoot your way to a really successful offense. But I actually think the more he's gotten comfortable, the more aggressive he's been throwing the football. And that's led to some, I think, above the pale type of results too for him, where he's actually creating stuff for the offense. So I think you have to be just absolutely thrilled if you're a Broncos fan, obviously, about the direction this whole thing's going in. I do think he's still it's been unbelievable he's been as protected as he's been, and maybe this is just how Peyton is comfortable with it. It seems like the tackles have adjusted to it. He plays really deep in the pocket, and that makes it, in some ways, it buys him an extra half second because guys can't get to him in time, but I think it also makes it a little challenging for the angles of protection for his tackles, who have obviously done an unbelievable job. So maybe the adjustment's there, and that's just, Breeze did play a little bit deeper too, and so maybe that's just how they play it and how Peyton wants it, and maybe that everybody's comfortable with that. But I do wonder if they get up against some of the top pass rush teams, if you're going to see him under a little more duress than he has been throughout the season. But yeah, right now, it feels like this is an offense clicking on all cylinders, and he seems to have mastered it. If he keeps this up, I think he will overtake Daniels unless Daniels is able to get back to some of what he was doing earlier in the season. So it's going to be a real race to the finish line. But like I said, I think Denver's more likely to make the playoffs than Washington, and that will hold a lot of weight in viewers' minds, even if I don't personally care about that part.
I agree. Now, they're another team that has a late Week 14 bye week. They play the Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football coming up, and then they have their bye week. Then it's the Indianapolis Colts, at the Los Angeles Chargers, at the Cincinnati Bengals, and then versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, those are matchups where you're looking at pass defenses with the Colts and the Bengals and the Chiefs. Not the best pass defenses in the NFL. And I mean, the Chargers obviously were struggled against the Ravens, but the Ravens are a really good football team. So we'll see on that one. But this is an opportunity for Bo Nix could absolutely still win Rookie of the Year. Like, if you're thinking like, no, it's Jaden's, it's not going to be all other than Jaden. I mean, Bo Nix could absolutely win Rookie of the Year for how he is playing. You are correct. He got an 82.0 passing grade over the last 5 weeks. It's the highest among rookie quarterbacks. It's, I believe, top 10 in the NFL overall. And so, they're painting a good picture of what this offense could be with Nix, which is really cool to see. Even myself, who I looked at Nix last year at Oregon, and I said, okay, there's an NFL QB in here. There really is. Like, I think that he has got the tools to be an NFL quarterback. This is accelerated even for me, who was somebody who believed in Bo Nix. Like, I thought this was going to be a year 2, year 3 type of a thing, and if it wasn't going to be in year 2, I don't know if he'll get the chance to do it in year 3. We'll see his situation. And the fact that he's been coming out of the gate, and I think I like the way that you said it, it's not like a singular stat, mastery of the offense. It's not like you get a grade like 1 through 10, like how much of a master of this offense that he is, but you see it in the other statistics. You see it in the big-time throw rate, in the completion percentage, in the low turnover-worthy play rate, especially how comfortable and confident he is in this offense, and I think that means a lot towards him. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can come one today.